Janice Ramirez helped treat the wounds of fellow soldiers while serving in the U.S. Army. After 17 years, an injury forced her to leave the service. Once on the outside, she couldn't get a steady job, struggled to pay the rent, and it wasn't long before she had no place to call home.
I have slept wherever I could. I've slept in shelter, on the floor, in a car, an abandoned house.
After a stint in the military, Sharisha Hatchett-Lewis's life became a battlefield of domestic violence. It drove her and her young son from their home.
You don't sleep well in a car, you know, not knowing who's going to come up to the car, or who's going to hurt you, or, yeah, you have to sleep with one eye open.
Homelessness was once primarily an issue among male veterans, but the issue has grown significantly in the last 10 years within the female veteran community.
It is on the rise. About 8% of veterans who are sheltered or identified as homeless are female.
Pete Daughtery oversees homeless programs for the Department of Veterans Affairs. He says female vets face a growing list of problems.
It's about a lack of employment. It's in many cases substance use or mental illness. What we know about recently returning veterans is they seem to have a much higher incidence of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Perhaps the biggest issue, not enough temporary housing.
We have about 14,000 current transitional housing beds for veterans, male and female.
The situation facing many of her fellow vets pushed Navy reservist Jackie Campbell to take action. She recently opened this home for homeless female veterans called Lady Vets Haven. Here, the women enjoy a clean and safe environment. They also receive job counseling and encouragement, all at a discounted rent rate.
There's no reason, you know, especially, you know, a veteran, somebody that done served our country, gave their life for our country, you know, should have to be sleeping outside.
Dr. Priscilla Hankins is a psychiatrist at the Veterans Hospital in Hampton, Virginia. She says while female vets face the same stresses as males, they also have gender-specific issues that make them more susceptible to homelessness.
Being single parents with small children, and the domestic violence issue is a significant factor, and unemployment, you know, all these coming together.
Military sexual trauma may also play a part. The Veterans Affairs Inspector General found that nearly a third of temporary shelters for veterans did not adequately address security risks. They included male and female residents on the same floor and insufficient locks in bedrooms and bathrooms.
About 90% of our military sexual trauma victims are females. And as you can see, that would certainly cause some challenges for women coming into a male-dominated setting to seek treatment when they have been traumatized by sexual trauma.
Daughtery says the Department of Veterans Affairs is making progress in the area of transitional housing. It is teaming with the Department of Housing and Urban Development to provide housing vouchers for veterans. This is particularly popular among women veterans. Still, vets want the VA to make their transition from the military a lot smoother.
They do give you a little bit of information on, you know, during the exit process, but not enough for you to at least try and, you know, become a civilian again and restabilize.
We have to do a much better job in that transition as service members are coming out.
Meanwhile, places like Lady Vets Haven is making a difference, one veteran at a time.
I walked in and I was like, wow, you really mean this is all women? It was like a blessing, like walking into a true blessing.
Charlene Israel, CBN News.